Hello world. Here to bring you guys Turner Talk number 9. Okay, number 9. Got the tripod in action. Um, excuse me. I gotta apologize about my voice, and there's gonna be some coughing too because I actually just ran out of cough drops. Just got back from district duels. We ended up losing on criteria. I got a coach's misconduct for trying to argue this chicken wing that I thought was illegal, but it really, I don't know. You can't run your fist up a guy's spine towards his neck. Like, that's pretty cut and dry, but it is what it is. We should wrestle better. Anyway, Turner Talk number 9. This one's called Stop Letting Fear Get in Your Way. Okay, so let's talk about fear real quick. Fear is the most powerful human motivator that there is. Fear. And fear can motivate people to do all kinds of things, good things and bad things. And so that's the first thing we need to understand. Fear is the most powerful human motivator that there is, period. And there's a few responses to fear. We'll get into those in a second, but first I want to talk about 3 different types of fear that I'm going to address. And the first one is the fear of change. People are scared to change. The fear of failure, and the fear of expectations. More so not living up to expectations, disappointing people. So, first of all, the fear of change. Change is scary, right? When we know how things are going to go, how things are supposed to go, then we're fine with it. We're okay with it. But when things start to change, oftentimes it causes fear for people, and some can adapt and deal with that, others can't. And the ones that are the most adaptable to that change are the ones that are going to be the most successful. Change is always going to be scary. It's scary for everybody, but certain people handle it better than others. And that's really what we got to focus on. And I think the people that handle it better than others are the ones that accept it the most, that understand that life is constantly changing. It's always going to change. And change doesn't necessarily equal bad. That doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. When things change, that's typically, in my opinion, a good thing. If you're staying the same, if you're staying stagnant, then that you're not growing. You're not getting any better. And we can take an example from nature. Rivers, oceans, all those things, they flow. They're constantly in motion, constantly in flux. They're never stagnant. And when they are stagnant, when water is stagnant, it can grow bacteria, grow disease, grow mold. So nature tells us that we should always be changing, always be in flow. Make sense? Okay. Number 2, fear of failure. This I think, can be coupled also with the fear of success. Some people actually fear success, and maybe it's the change. They have this goal that they're going for. If they finally succeed and get that goal, then you no longer have that goal to strive for. And that scares some people. But we're talking about the fear of failure. So the fear of failure is probably pretty easy to conceptualize. Okay? Okay, I'm going at this thing 100% and I fail. And that's the hard part and that's why people don't go at things 100%, is so they can have an excuse when they fail. But if you don't go at it 100%, then you don't give yourself the best chance at success. And that's kind of easy to say, but hard to do. And when you do fail, going 100%, it's the worst pain you'll ever have. Got second place in nationals my senior year, NAI nationals, 157 pounds. Got beat by this guy named Charlie Pingleton. And it was fear that caused me to lose that match, because first of all, it was the fear of change. I was a senior. It was my senior year. I loved going in the room, preparing every day, pushing myself, seeing how hard I could push myself every single day. And before that match, I started thinking about all that being over. And realistically, it wasn't even over yet. I still had the best match of my career to wrestle in front of me. And I let that slip, thinking about change and fearing change rather than embracing change. Okay, and also the fear of failure. What if I didn't get the national title? But more so, I think for me was that change. I wasn't necessarily worried about failing. I was more so worried about change. And I think that was a major problem. So, fear of failure, fear of change, fear of failure, and also the fear of expectations, not living up to expectations. And I think this one is a big one for people, but it's kind of easy to address too. Whose expectations are you trying to live up to? Whose expectations are you realistically trying to look up to? Is it your dad's expectations? Is it your spouse's expectations? Is it the expectations of all your peers that aren't doing the same thing as you, that aren't even putting themselves out there fully? Whose expectations are you really trying to live up to? And if they're your own, then stop having those. Don't have expectations when you go into circumstances. Just know that you're going to give it your all, everything that you have, and you don't need to have expectations. What are the expectations for? If you set expectations, those are limitations too. What if I only expect this, but I can really achieve this? Then I put my bar here, and I'm only going to go to here. If I don't have any expectations, if I leave myself open, then I'm going to go to here. Understand? We don't need to have expectations. We just need to go at things 100%, give it everything we got. In regards to wrestling, okay? In regards to wrestling. So to fear, your sympathetic nervous system has certain responses. Everybody knows fight, everybody knows flight. Okay, but one sympathetic nervous system response that people don't think of is the freeze response. There's 3. Fight, flight, freeze. So, in regards to wrestling, I think of positions. Like, I get in these positions, and if I want to, if I get so fearful of the position that I freeze, okay, that means that I maybe stop moving. Freeze, just let the kid get to my legs. Or I'm in a scramble and I just freeze and stop and let the other kid keep wrestling and score. Okay? Which are both bad things. What about also flight? Okay? Maybe I bail way too early on a situation when I could have kept wrestling in that situation because I got scared. I got scared and I let that fear grip me. Okay? And also fight. I keep fighting this situation. When realistically, I should just flow to the next part, the next situation. And that also comes down to those 3 things that I was addressing earlier that we're fearful of. Fear of change. We're scared to change positions. I'm already in this position. I want to stay here. I'm scared to cut across and change, or he cracks me down and change and move. Okay? Fear of failure. I'm scared to lose this position. What's the big deal? There's going to be hundreds and thousands of positions in a match if I only get there. So I don't need to be fearful of failing in one position. One position does not define an entire match. So don't be scared to fail a position. Okay, and expectations. I'm going to let everybody down. I'm going to let my teammates down. You will not let anybody down. Let me tell you this right now. You will not let anybody down if you go 100%. No one will be disappointed in you that actually cares about you, that's actually worth considering their opinion if you go at it 100%. And if you fail, you fail. At least you went at it 100%. But it's when you lay there or when you stop or when you let the fear grip you so much that you don't give it your all that maybe people could be disappointed or you could be disappointed in yourself. So, I don't know. I kind of rambled. It's like 11:30, 11:45 at night. Okay. But got it done. Turner Talk number 9. It's kind of long, 9 minutes, but hopefully you can get through that and kind of decipher the message there. There's a lot to decipher there. So anyway, stay tuned for Turner Talk number 10. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Leave in the comments something that you want me to talk about, the next Turner Talk topic that you want me to talk about. And stop letting fear get in your way. Go at things 100%. Don't leave yourself any excuses. And don't be scared to change. Don't be scared to fail. And don't be scared or limit yourself with expectations. Understand? Cool. Thanks for watching Turner Talk number 9.